I don't want to say that I self-sabotaged, but it was one of those things that I didn't ever. One thing, I think at one point I was arrogant, thinking that she wouldn't leave. Another point, I felt very egotistical in the way that I kind of used her, what she wanted in life, to think that I could kind of I would say speak without regard more than anything else. Like, it's not like I cheated on her. It's not like I hit her. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink anyway. So it's not like I was like abusive in any kind of really big way.
Yeah.
It was more or less like, if she were to walk out of anger tomorrow, I didn't necessarily fully fret, because I just kind of had the notion like, oh, she'll be back.
Mm.
So it's like I was never felt threatened.
Yeah.
And that's all ego and arrogance.
Right.
And we got to the point then to where we actually did break up month 5 or 6, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool, no problem. I'm actually gonna go back to Florida. She hits me up like a week later, something along those lines, and basically sends a pregnancy picture.
Whoa.
And I sent a picture back of a gleeful face. Like, okay, cool. Like, I know we just broke up, but
that's good news, right?
That's fine with me. Yeah. Not that that's fine with me, but I'm actually very joyful of this. Like, that's something that's, like, let's go. Like, we got this. We can do this. Not a problem. Like, this is a good moment. This is a good thing. She says she's shaking and everything along those lines. And, and the pregnancy starts off a little rocky. I don't necessarily know my balance. I'm somebody who kind of oversteps themselves in ways of trying to help, and by doing that, I end up becoming a little bit more of a nuisance, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Okay. If the one cook is not necessarily as quick or masterful as the other chef, then they're more or less going to get in the way of the process than being able to help at the end of the day, right? So that's how I felt things kind of were at the beginning of the pregnancy. And then she knew the entire time, but she has really bad pregnancies, like bedridden situation pregnancies, just to make sure that the child essentially was basically killing her the entire pregnancy. She was in a bad state. So it was all hands on deck. And
I would tell the audience, because part of this is I want to help, educate or get, validate if anyone's gone through complications. What sort of complications did she have?
She had, I'm blanking at the moment. It's actually very, very common. Not super, super common, but essentially, her symptoms were that she was, she felt like she was having morning sickness at all times.
Okay.
So she was pretty much hardly ever she wasn't able to really eat too much throughout the entire pregnancy. She was always just basically felt like absolutely horrible. I believe spikes in blood pressure. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
It was not a comfortable pregnancy overall.
No, to the point where it was like we were fearful. We were fearful at 2 months that she was going to lose him. And then we were pretty fearful all of second try.
Wow.
And once third try came along, it was more or less making sure that she was going to be okay delivering.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of got to that point. And then the delivery was bad shit.
Oops.
It was crazy. Essentially, I was at the job where I got kind of, I guess you could say, discovered, but somebody told me that I would be good at modeling and acting. I was at that job and I get a call basically saying that the baby's on its way. And the baby's on its way like quickly. She was already 4 centimeters dilated for probably 3 to 4 weeks before that moment. We had a doula. For those of you who don't know, doula is essentially like a kind of like a nurse that kind of will help you through the process of kind of getting you ready to have the child. And so the doula came over.
Connected nurse, right? Like they come to your house and they're there they're not just there at the hospital the day of the birth. They're
correct.
Going to your home and seeing where you want to birth the baby.
Correct. Yeah, we were even thinking about doing a water birth at one point.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were thinking see if it were possible. So the doula came over. Yeah, we actually did classes with the doula. So
and it's like a midwife, sort of. It's like
essentially, yeah, right. It's like a midwife, but I guess not quite. I don't know the best way to describe it.
They can look it up.
Yeah,
but it's a thing.
Check it out. So the doula came over. Checked, see how many centimeters dilated she was, and that actually sparked the process of the birth of her giving birth. So she actually started going into labor right after she actually checked to see how many inches or centimeters dilated she was, and at that point the baby was just ready to come. To the point where I was able to get off work, get back home. Took me about 20 minutes to get home. And I needed to get her in the car. Almost had the baby in the car on the way home, on the way there.
And you were living together at the time?
Yes. Yeah, we were living together at the time.
So you like broke up, and you were like, "We're gonna, at the very least, live together during this pregnancy." So
got back together.
Yeah.
We were. It's not like she was dating or I was dating. We were exclusive again. And yeah, we were able to. That's a whole other can of worms when it comes to that thing, right? But yeah, so we were living together. So I came home, picked her up, and then within a matter of like an hour and a half, baby was born.
Well, that's quick. That's quick.
Yeah, almost didn't make it into, I guess you could say the birthing area of the hospital, like where it's really interesting.
The birth arena.
Yeah. Yeah, we almost had the baby in like an ER room.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you see it come out? Did you see the crowning?
No, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I was up there I was north of the border holding hands.
But you were with her.
I was fully with her.
Crazy.
Her daughter was with us as well, so it was a full-on experience, and I'm pretty positive her mom was there as well.
Wow.
But yeah, so it was.
Yeah, was it mostly?
So I was holding her hand, and.
Was it mostly just adrenaline getting you through it? Because it seems like in a moment like that, you don't actually have time to feel anything, right? You're just trying to survive it and help her survive it.
100% attention was on her.
Yeah.
100%, just making sure that she was comfortable and safe, and making sure that she was okay.
Yeah.
Anything I could have done to make sure that she was okay.
Right.
So.
But so this was like the easiest, also like most predictable moment in the past 9 months, right? Because there's no more morning sickness, blood pressure, like.
There was no more. Yeah, there was no. I mean, we went and got fluids. I would say probably 5 or 6 times. Maybe at one point we were going every other week to make sure that she was good on fluids for a little bit.
Yeah.
She was in a good spot.
Wow.
At all. And then she ended up having preeclampsia after the baby was born. And that was something that really.
And that's also something my sister had. That's also big. Something very dangerous for women. Which is preeclampsia is just high blood pressure during pregnancy, correct? It's like pregnancy-induced blood pressure. Yeah. Very dangerous.
Very, very dangerous.
Eclampsia means you're dead, possibly. Preeclampsia is like leading up to,
Essentially.
Yeah.
So she had a spike. Her preeclampsia got pretty bad within like 7-8 days after the baby was born, and I don't think that she had noticed at that point that I had never really been around babies.
You've been around kids,
not
babies.
Yeah. Not newborns.
Yeah, newborns.
And so I think it was a shock to her when she saw me hold Rowan for the first couple times, because it was.
Did you hold him right there in the hospital? Tell me, like, the first.
Yeah.
You need him. What was that?
Yeah. I think my adrenaline wore off. I almost fell asleep. I did. I nodded off wildly when we were doing skin to skin.
Wow.
I don't know, like maybe because it was in the middle of the night. I don't know. He was born at 11:10 p.m. and we had him right here, and that was being with her as she's pushing him out, and then holding him for the first time were two of the moments I'll never forget in my life. That's where her and I are always going to have at least share that moment with the three of us. Carmela, her and I. It was just something that will always kind of live in that spot.
I didn't learn about the skin to skin until maybe 2 weeks beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see if you watch one of the videos on my channel, I talk about that. But my buddy Randy, who, as you can tell by his title, Buddy, is by no means a medical professional, but he has 2 kids. He was like, get the kid on you, skin to skin. It's important for the bond as a father. Yeah. So I did that, right away. Yeah. It kind of reminds you of kind of how you talk to the child through the belly throughout the entire pregnancy. It's kind of like that whole thing. Once again, just like at that point, let's bond as soon as possible. So it was magnetic. That's for sure. It was one of those things like, this is my guy. This is my little guy. There you go. Yeah. So what? Flash forward a little bit to he's how old now? He'll be 3 at the end of May. So he's still a little guy. Yeah. Little guy. Right. Yeah. And how have things been since birth? I know you hinted at some big rockiness. Yeah. So honestly, like, again, I will take full blame. There was a situation right when she had that preeclampsia situation where it was a full-on miscommunication process. I got my ego hit completely, and while she was in the hospital, I kind of denied not taking the kids to see her while she was in the hospital for like the first half of the day. And then I eventually did take them at like 3, 4, 5 o'clock. No excuse by it by any means at all. It literally was an ego hit, and that's the reason why I did it. So you didn't take her kids to see your son? No, I didn't take my child or her daughter to see her while she was in the hospital dealing with preeclampsia. Okay. I mean, you can make all the excuses in the world, but at the end of the day, it really came down to the fact that we had gotten into a very big argument and fight because because she left me with my newborn child for her to go to the hospital and stay overnight, and she left me with him to take care of him, and I was able to do that, right? I was able to actually make it throughout the night. When he was like a week old? When he was like a week old, and take care of him throughout the entire night, change him and everything like that when I had never been with a baby before. For sure. So I was extremely proud of myself. Okay. And beforehand, she basically said something along the lines of, you know what I mean, like something along the lines of either like make sure that he's okay, or I'm trusting you to do this, or something like that. And I basically was saying like challenge accepted, as if to say like don't worry, I got this. I'm going to make sure that our baby's taken care of. She took that as me saying like this is like a challenge, like you know what I mean, like it's a burden for me. No, like I'm like playing it as if it's like I'm playing a game. Like this is like not right. This isn't my child I'm dealing with. Right. This is like challenge accepted. Let me see how I do, kind of a thing. And it's like no. That's not what I was saying at all. It's just your way of being funny. Yeah. I was exactly like I was being sincere in what I was saying. I was just letting you know that I got this. Right. And I said challenge accepted, and she didn't understand what that meant. She thought that I meant that I was taking this as something that's like not as serious as it is. Okay. And so basically the next morning I was extremely happy that I had survived the night. Yeah. Which is not normal. Like a baby's not supposed to be without their mom at a week fucking old.
Exactly, right? So I was extremely happy about this and let her know that, you know, like, baby's great, we're doing great, you know what I mean? And she got so upset that it was so, I was so taken back that she got so upset with me because of that, because of the fact that I was so proud of that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost to her, it's like, you should, you're the dad.
Right.
So I didn't see it from her point of view. She's somebody who's literally, you know, basically almost dying in the hospital and is fully worried about what's going on at home, along with the fact that she's ailing. I didn't see anything from her point of view. I was just like, yo, this is my first time doing this. I can't believe I have to be put in this situation, but I can do this. I know I can do this as a father.
Right.
And then so I was very proud of myself afterwards, and I didn't see anything of where she was coming from. And so then my ego got hit, and then my anger took aside, and then my decision was to not let her see her kids. So eventually I did that day, but that was a big, big, big burden that she never, ever, ever got over. That's something like, as a relationship, as a couple, that's something that
So something just started out as like a simple miscommunication.
Correct. Yeah. Because the fact, well, it was at the end of the day, it was my situation. I'm the one that's